I have been using a rebounder for many years. I'd say now it's probably been about 7 or 8 years, 9 years that I've been rebounding. I got introduced to the Bellicon rebounder by a friend, and I had been using other ones, and I'd always experimented and tried every type because I always want to see what's the best kind, does it really matter if you spend more or spend less. So I felt like I was like this connoisseur of trying to find the best rebounder. And somebody had introduced me to a Bellicon, and I thought, you know, what's the big difference? I mean, I had a good one I was using, and then they sent me the Bellicon. You guys sent me the Bellicon, and it was like the difference between like a Toyota and a Rolls Royce. And I felt the difference the first time I even stepped on the Bellicon. It's for people who've never rebounded, it's hard to explain unless you actually do it, because the tension across the center of the rebounder is what makes a rebounder good or not. If the tension in the center collapses when you're bouncing, it's terrible for your body. It's terrible for your joints. It's terrible for your ankles. It's terrible for your upright posture. So in the past, I'd always only used shoes on the rebounder because I was so concerned about keeping that very solid base. And I found on the Bellicon, you can do it with your bare feet, you can do it with your shoes on. It is silent. That's the other thing. I mean, even if you're living in an apartment or you are upstairs and you have people sleeping downstairs, in the past, any rebounders I've used have been like, there's something going on upstairs that you're like, what is that noise? And using a Bellicon is like silent. I hear absolutely nothing. And even my boyfriend, who is, 190 pounds and he rebounds, it's the same thing. So I was just so impressed, A, with the construction of it, B, with just how sleek also it looks. In the past, I always felt like rebounders were kind of like an old people's look. It never had looked kind of sexy or sleek to me. And my rebounder that I have is pink, and it's sleek, and it looks modern, and I keep it out in my living room all the time. I found just practically using the rebounder, and like I said, I use it at home, and I also do use them at the gym and with clients. It is one of the most efficient tools to work with that gets cardiovascular work. It's obviously excellent for your lymphatic system. It gives that good cardio without any of that tension or up and down joint issues, or if you feel like in your ligaments in your body. It's so smooth and it feels great. I also work with a lot of cancer survivors, and I've worked with a lot of breast cancer survivors in particular, and I found through my cancer survivors, the rebounding is crucial for keeping the lymphedema away. And even my client who has been rebounding, she rebounds with me, she went to New York, flew to New York, got off the plane, and her lymphedema was really bad. She went to an Equinox, I think, and asked them, can I please, please, please borrow your rebounder just to rebound a little bit, and her lymphedema went down. I mean, I think a lot of times now people are so concerned about everything that's what it looks like on the outside. And nowadays people are becoming, I think, smarter and more educated with what's going on the inside. Is everything to do with how you look on the outside. And that's why rebounding is critical. If you don't move, if you don't jump and you don't have any type of running in your program or jump rope, you don't have that lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is not opening and closing because you actually have to do it you moving up and down is what moves your lymphatic system. It doesn't happen like your heart automatically. So including rebounding into your program also helps to keep weight down. For me, it's helped with depression. It helps with digestion. You feel it immediately when you do it. Even just bouncing. I mean, I bounce on the rebounder during commercials, and I use it in conjunction with the myofascial release. I am a huge, huge proponent of myofascial release with the rollers and rolling out. And I have found that the combination of rolling out with the rebounding is like this magic bullet of keeping the body healthy, but also keeping your body super lean. And I did use the rebounder. I do private retreats as well with clients, and I had a client who was about 40 pounds overweight, super stagnant. The body, I don't think he had exercised in probably over 10 years. Really kind of dense body fat, which is very hard to break up. And it's very hard to make somebody who hasn't done any exercise start running or start jumping, or you have to be progressive with it. And My program was having him on the rebounder. After he rolled out in the morning, he rebounded 10 minutes before breakfast, and he rebounded 10 minutes at night before he would eat his dinner. And that alone, with the rolling out, opened up his body so much. He lost 40 pounds in 40 days. We also had a strength training program that we were doing with him, and obviously really healthy eating. But it was the rebounding that gave him, I feel, the freedom that he also loved it, because he was so heavy, he didn't feel like he could really move and do stuff. So being able to be on the rebounder and that kind of childlike feeling that people have when they rebound is what's so great about it. And I don't promote things that I don't use. I don't promote things just because somebody's paying me. I am very much like, if I don't use it, if I use it, then I'll recommend it. If I don't use it, I feel like a liar and I would never talk about it. So I am a huge fan of the Bellicon. I think it is absolutely worth the investment. Like I said, I have bought cheap rebounders and they have fallen apart immediately, and I could feel it in my back and my body. I feel the Bellicon is so good for the body. The construction of it is super safe and it's very solid, and I would recommend it to anybody.